Hey, bud.
We're good.
I think. Oh, wait.
Are we live?
I don't know if we're live yet or not. Hold on. And
Oh, what did we miss? I think we're live, honey.
are we live? Maybe we'll see here.
I think we
You
are.
alive? It says. Stop, eat, explore railroads. We roam, sighting. You guys. Okay. Are we live? I feel like we're not.
It says, hey, nothing yet, Johnny's Journeys.
Okay.
Bug's here. Stop it, explore. Jim Kuzman.
Why are we not live?
I thought it said.
We're back now with an eye-opening look at the price you pay for
Oh, here we go.
this modern world of car.
Here we go. Now we're
We're
live.
live.
Hey, everybody.
Hi, everyone.
We are live, and we'll make it official. Little theme music. Okay. It's over.
It's over.
Okay.
It's okay. It's over, buddy.
Okay.
You want some whipped cream?
Okay.
Go get
All right.
He does that all the time.
Now we will have we'll be
Gotta
kicked
turn
out
your
of the
sound
KOA.
Trim it.
Okay, buddy. So sorry about that, everybody. It's the only song that Truman
Gets
actually
excited about.
gets excited about
Yeah.
is when he hears our theme song, and it's the craziest thing. So I would have played this one.
Mark, shut up!
But it wasn't marked this time, so welcome everyone. I got to remember we have a camera up here.
Uh-huh.
It's easy to look down at the
Yeah,
screen,
yeah.
but for those of you that don't know, we've got our friends Karen and Mark Milinarski with us this evening.
Yeah.
And for those of you that don't know, they are now the caretakers of Carl, our
Yep.
Tab 400. So.
Yeah.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
And so we're all hanging out in the Lance. We're camping this weekend in Streetsboro, Ohio. I don't know if that's is that the official
That
title?
is, I think that's the address.
Okay, it's the address.
Mhm.
But we're going to Cuyahoga National Park tomorrow. So for those of you who didn't know, there is a national park here in Ohio.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually really cool. I mean, it is just a recently designated national park, and it has a really nice canal that you can bike on, and we're looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so very excited about that. So let's dive right into the important stuff, because that way if you're watching this on replay, you don't have to necessarily watch an hour plus
The
live
banter,
stream.
yeah.
Because most people are here because it said there was a big channel change.
Uh-huh.
But before we dive into that, I want to make an important announcement. It's kind of a sad announcement in the sense that, and I'll just go ahead and throw it up on the screen for you. But as soon as I find it, here we go.
You see it?
So, unfortunately, we have to cancel the Vermont campout. And I honestly, back in March, when COVID all really kind of broke loose, I thought if we're going to have to cancel a campout, it's going to be West Yellowstone.
Yes, that's what we thought.
Which we had very successfully. I'd never thought Vermont would be an issue.
Well, and in March we thought maybe, by this time of the year things would have been better.
Be better.
And in our area in Indiana, I think it's worse than what it was in March. So,
Right.
Yeah.
So the reason we're canceling, for those of you wondering, why are you canceling? Are you afraid to travel? No, we're not afraid to travel. Vermont, the state, has travel restrictions in place. And so depending on where you live, like us,
Right.
we would have to quarantine for 14 days. I believe the county in Pennsylvania you live in.
We live in Beaver County, and if we would have to quarantine for 14 days.
Yeah, they want us quarantine 14 days before going.
Before we go.
Yeah.
And then you'd have to have proof and show and document and all that stuff. So
Right.
Yeah.
It's just not feasible because with Patty's job, there's no
I
way
can't do that.
that we could absolutely quarantine for the 14 days. So, anyway, that's why we've had to cancel. I've called the campground. Now, if you have a reservation for Vermont, you need to decide whether you're going. There won't be a TWD campout. We won't be there. But please, if you're in a county or a state where it's okay for you to travel to Vermont, still go. It's still the best fall foliage you're going to see.
It's going to be beautiful. So.
And you can reach out and we can tell you places to go tour.
Yeah.
We can hook you up with our friends Jenna and Jacob Baird over at Baird Farm. But unfortunately, we just won't be able to go. for those of you who are all like us and you can't travel per the law or per the mandate of the state, then we are actually going to be at Ohio Pyle State Park that same weekend, which is October 8th, 9th,
Thursday the 8th through the
Sunday the
11th. I
yeah.
guess.
So there are sites available at Ohio Pyle State Park Campground in Pennsylvania, and there's no travel restrictions. So you're welcome to join us. It's not an official camp out. I'm not planning activities or anything like that. It's really just a backup plan for anybody that wants to get together. Carl is going to be there.
Yeah.
I'll be there.
I know Jim Kuzman's going to be there. I believe Jeff Hickman already, after he heard the announcement or saw the announcement on Facebook today, he's already booked a site. So there are sites available. And if you've never been to Ohio Pyle, it's an absolutely gorgeous area.
Beautiful.
Absolutely is. And there's not only is there biking, there's whitewater rafting if you want to do that, but they're kayaking. But two of Frank, if you're interested in architecture, two of Frank Lloyd Wright's only two houses in Pennsylvania, Falling Water and Kentuck Knob, or right near Ohio Pyle, so you can make that.
Yeah, so it's gonna be
fun.
Yeah, and I realize for some of you who were coming to Vermont, that's not an option. It's too far or whatever, and we completely understand. And again, we apologize for that. It's just we pushed this to the last minute, but we also wanted to be fair to the campground so that they could fill those slots, and also to you so that you could make other arrangements.
Right.
So
yeah.
So anyway, that's something I just wanted to get out, and I'm going to leave that scrolling at the bottom of the page, just because we want to get the word out to people that unfortunately Vermont's not going to happen.
Exactly.
So.
Yep.
All right, the big news. I guess the reason that a lot of people, and I apologize. Yeah, there's big news.
Oh my
There's
God.
bigger news.
And no, we didn't buy another trailer or another truck. And right now, I'll just be honest. I apologize. I have not read any comments. We just haven't done that yet. So
I did see Barb in Ohio said go to Brandywine Falls, and I think the Ledges. We did go to Brandywine Falls today, Barb. The parking lot was packed. We had to actually wait in line to get a parking spot. So it was Cuyahoga is very busy this weekend. So.
Yeah.
So, and I'll say too, that always helps us on these live streams. If you have a question, type question, and then put your question in, then that'll help me see it. So I'm going to try and look on your phone.
Yeah, Patty's
I'm having a hard time
Yeah,
seeing
it's hard
that.
to see. I've got all right, so here's the deal. If you remember back in April, we announced that we were, I think it was in April, May, it doesn't matter.
Something like that.
That we were not going to be doing the midweek updates anymore. And so we quit doing those. We haven't done those now for 3 or 4 months. And I know a lot of you have missed those episodes. And so what we had done over the summer was we had actually moved the midweek updates over to our Patreon account. And everybody, I think, Mark, you and Karen are in that, or were in that group. You enjoyed those. But Patty and I came to a decision, and we had really contemplated this for several months, of shutting down our Patreon account. And we did that. So effective immediately, there is no more Travels with Delaney Patreon account. We just decided that we could not provide enough value on that page. And it was just a decision we made. So what we decided to do was we wanted to bring back midweek updates, but because we can't bring back midweek updates on Travels with Delaney, and it's stuff that most people don't even care about, but it has to do with algorithms, to where YouTube would actually punish our channel if a video doesn't do well, like a midweek update. So we made the decision that we were going to start a second channel. And so that's what we have done. We've actually started a new channel called, and I'm going to pop that one up. I love playing with this. We normally don't have this good of internet to be able to run this program, but the new channel is just called TWD Life. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you go into YouTube and you type in TWD Life, you'll never find it. Because there's a lot of TWD stuff I found out already out there, and a lot of it's short for The Walking Dead. The TV show, yeah. But I put a link in the description for this video. If you go to the Travels with Delaney homepage on YouTube, there's a link on the right-hand side to TWD Life. So if you want to head over there and subscribe, that's where this new channel is going to be midweek updates every week, and anything else we want to put out about our lives. It's not going to be, I think at the top I put Beyond the Travels. And so it might be everything from me chopping wood at Tall Pine Lodge to a recipe or cooking in the kitchen to Patty just doing laundry around. Who knows?
That's not exciting.
Yeah.
No, but weren't you in the tractor with your plaid?
Yeah,
his
like last
jammies,
winter when
yeah.
I was snow
Give me
plowing.
that.
So that channel is just going to be, we don't care about numbers on that channel. It's just about sharing our lives with you.
Yep.
And
Just
we can
fun.
bring back the
Yeah.
midweek updates for those of you that enjoyed it. And so that's what we're doing. And that's our big announcement tonight is this new channel. But the midweek updates are coming back. They're just coming back over on TWD Live. So.
Well, we have a question for Mark and Karen.
All right.
From Roads We Roam.
Of course.
Oh, from the Rose. Well, wait, before you do that. Thank you to Carrie, who is here tonight.
Yes.
She's moderating for us. She didn't have to
Hi,
work at
Carrie.
the candy store. And so, Carrie, thank you so much for moderating so that Mark and Karen can have the night off. And
I'm
Just be
afraid, I'm afraid to hear the question.
Well, they just want, what
Oh,
What do the new Carl owners think of RVing? What do you think of RVing with Carl?
you know what? And really, I think if you had told me 2 years ago that I would be sitting here in an RV park RVing with you guys, I would have said absolutely not. That's never going to happen. But it has been, it's been quite an adventure. We had a great time in Yellowstone this
Yeah,
summer.
lots of fun.
We've had a great time camping since then. We've camped 3 times, state park camping
Yes,
since.
because when we bought Carl, I
Yeah.
said, just think of this: it's our adventure. We're going on an adventure,
Yeah.
and you.
Yeah.
And
And
you're happy.
I was resistant, but I've had a lot of push from Karen, Patty, Patrick, Russ, Karen.
you got
I feel like I had it from all
Peer
sides.
pressure.
Yeah, a lot of that.
Oh, shoot.
So,
Okay, back to Vermont.
Okay.
Johnny's Journeys has a question. Can you give us the site number range so we can all be close for Ohio Pyle? Do you have any idea?
116, I think.
yeah, we're at
117.
116 and 117, and we looked. They still had electric sites left. If you want non-electric, I know they have a lot of those left as well. We're actually going to be there Thursday night through Sunday. I think you guys are coming.
We'll probably get in Friday morning. Yeah.
So, but we're at 116 and 117.
Yeah. So I don't know what's left, Johnny, but yeah, 116, 117 is where us and Mark and
thank
Karen
you.
are.
Super chat. I'm not sure who it came from. It must be down in my feed. Oh, someone named Mark.
And Jess,
Mark and Jess.
Oh, it
Love
says,
you guys. Love you.
looks
Love
like
you guys are having fun. Love from Mark and Jess.
That's my son and daughter.
Oh,
thank
you.
Thanks, guys.
These are great people,
Yeah.
by the way, but you already know that, so.
Okay, from Nanette Rivera. She says, what RV would you suggest would be the best for a couple of friends to hit the road in and easy to learn how to use? Is your rig set up for boondocking? Are you talking about our rig?
Yeah, well,
Okay.
it could be ours or yours,
Yeah.
which used to be ours.
Yeah.
yeah.
For a couple of friends, an RV you'd suggest easy to use and for a couple of
Well,
friends.
I mean, that's a tough one just because without knowing what they
type
would
of
want to
camping you would
do
do,
and,
yeah.
and that type of thing. But, my thing is, if you've never RV'd before, one of the suggestions I would have for your friends is maybe consider renting an RV for a weekend and seeing if they even really enjoy it before they plop down thousands of dollars. Okay. You see a comment?
There's another one here.
Okay.
Here we go. I'll get it in a
Okay,
minute.
yeah. So that might be an option. And again, it just really depends because, RVs can range from pop-ups all the way up to fifth wheels, and then you get into the
Yeah.
motorhomes, that type of thing.
Well, we've had a range all over the place,
yeah.
too. So,
So, but I personally, for us, we like the smaller, I'm going to say under 23 feet because I used to say under 21
Yeah,
feet,
can't do
and
that.
we're at 23 feet now. Back to the other question was, are we set up for boondocking? Yes.
Yes, we are.
We have 190 watts of solar on the roof. We have 2 100 amp hour lithium batteries on board, and we have a 2,000 watt inverter. And then just to supplement, in case we need to run air conditioning, we carry a 3,500 watt Harbor Freight generator. Yeah.
Yes.
So, but again, if they've never RV'd, I would not.
I think I would rent.
I would rent maybe just to make sure they really want to do it.
Exactly.
And then once they do it, maybe they'll have an idea.
What they like and
yeah.
what kind of camping you want to do, that
Right.
kind of thing.
We went in with 2 feet.
You
Yeah.
did. You jumped right in.
Yeah.
Okay.
From John Man. I assume you know John Man.
Yes, we do.
Said, who was Mark and Karen's favorite child?
Whoever empties and loads the dishwasher.
There you go.
There you go.
So there's a chance for you, John. Man.
Oh, shoot.
Okay, so, and again, tonight, just fire away with
Yep.
your questions and your comments.
Samantha's here. I need Samantha.
Oh, hi, Sam.
Hey,
Hi,
Sam.
We can say some hellos. We got
Okay.
Bubba Bug here.
Oh, hey, Bubba Bug. Welcome.
Ookie the Frog.
Ookie.
Yeah.
There's a name I don't recognize, but welcome.
The Fitches are here. Hi,
Hey,
guys.
Fitches, Dave and Andrea. Hope
Yeah.
you guys are having fun. They're down.
Oh, they're in Ohio too.
Yeah,
Yes.
they're a Cohen Lake, maybe? Is that?
Mhm.
Well, you're not from Ohio. I don't know.
Why?
Yeah.
We've been looking at a lot
Yeah.
of Ohio parks recently.
It's on the way to Cincinnati because David actually said if anything opened up, we should come with them. But I never really saw anything with electric open up there.
Okay. We have Terry Long is here.
Oh, hey Terry, hope
Terry.
you're doing better.
Okay, of course, Russ and Carrie.
Terry's actually getting
Uh-huh.
a Lance.
Yes, he is.
It's on
Ah.
order. He's getting I believe a 1985 like ours, very similar. So he's ordered it. He's just waiting on it to come from the factory.
Oh,
Donna
wow.
Delahante's here.
Hey Donna out
Donna.
in Arizona.
Randy from Randy's Adventures.
Randy. So, and a lot of these are channels. So if you haven't checked them out, I know a lot of you are already subscribed, but Randy puts out a lot of videos. Johnny's here from Johnny's Journeys. The
Stacy
Fitches.
Forrest.
Stacy.
How's Chris doing?
Yeah, we were just
thinking
talking about you. I
guys.
said I need to call Stacy and check in on you guys, see how you're doing. So.
Lori Hackett.
Hey, Lori. And again, another person. I hope Corey's doing well.
Jill Faring. Jason Carter's here.
Oh, Jill. I know Jill. I know Jason. Jason's down.
Mobi's here.
Mo, we were talking about you just a little bit ago at dinner. We were talking about Tab 400s for sale, and I said, well, Mo's sold very quickly. And I was
So
wondering.
did yours.
Yeah, so did mine. So I don't know, Mo, did you end up getting a new trailer yet? So
Phil Hampton's here.
Phil and Judy.
Donna Rivers.
Hi, Donna.
Says Tailspins 1.
Hi, Tailspins 1.
Barb, Ohio. Arnie Unger.
Arnie.
How
So,
you doing, Arnie?
Yeah, Arnie, today we were talking about you because Mark was putting up his awning and he said, I should have paid attention when Patrick was demonstrating
We
for
got
Arnie
another-
and Jean.
Jim
Yeah.
Kuzman.
Hey, Jim.
Oh, and Diane S. gave us a super chat, $10. Says, I'm a newbie, love your videos. I'm going to be a solo traveler with my pups. 2021 320S on order.
Nice.
Cool.
Congratulations,
Yeah.
Diane. Thank you for that super chat.
Yeah,
We appreciate
so nice.
that. And yeah, that's exciting that you got a new 320S on order. And we do have videos, and you probably already know this, Diane. Even though we didn't have a 320, a lot of the systems videos that we have, they're the same systems that are in a 320 as that were in a 400. So
Donna's asking, question, what is the clicking sound? Sounds like a ping pong.
Sounds like when the comments.
And
come up.
then
that's what.
Ookie the Frog says it's actually dogs playing ping pong.
No.
To
Let's do
Donna.
this. Let's shut off the
But
comments
maybe
here.
it's on the computer here.
Donna, let's see if it goes away because we
That's
were
a
hearing a
funny
clicking
comment.
sound on
Yeah.
the computer every
The ping
time.
pong tournament.
We're
So-
doing it under the table.
what it
You
But
just
now
sounds
don't
I'm
know.
still hearing it. Let's try this. Can you still hear us okay?
Yeah, let us
I
know
think so.
here.
That's just the sound on the speakers.
Okay.
So
think that's what
now-
they were- I think that's what you.
Now the
said.
question is, how do I bring there? Now I can bring this back up and we won't hear it.
Debbie Falls is here.
Oh, hey, Debbie. Debbie's out in
Canby,
Oregon.
Oregon.
Wow.
We didn't make it all the way to Oregon this year, Debbie, but I wish we could have. You and Shelby
Yes.
and
Lots of good friends.
yeah,
Nora.
and Lisa. We
Mhm.
didn't get to see, so I wish we could have made it. all
Oh,
the way
good. It
out there.
says, yep, you sound fine. That's from the
Okay.
kid. Thank you for letting us know. There was something here I kind of missed for a second. Where'd it go? Oh, hi, Cynthia Stewart.
Hi, Cynthia. Welcome.
All right. I don't see any questions right now.
All right.
I'm looking again.
No
make sure I didn't
questions
miss
yet? All
anybody.
right. And so you got through the welcomes and.
Yeah. Okay, Randy, question. Your new tanks are massive. How long can you now boondock?
Well, so the tanks on this trailer are 45 fresh, 45 gray, 45 black. And that sounds massive compared to Carl, which has an 18 gray. Is that right? Yeah.
18,
Yes.
30.
12, and 30.
30 fresh, 18 gray, 12 black. Here's the problem, Randy. We were thinking 45 gallon gray, we can go a month. Well, not really, but
Well,
here's the
unless
problem.
someone hangs out in the shower a little.
Yeah, so
too
you start
long.
thinking like, well, I can take longer
This
showers.
boy here.
and the
Not
other
me.
thing is we found out the pump in
Yes.
this trailer is very powerful.
Yeah,
And
you get a lot
so
of
we
water.
ended up
So you get
filling
it.
up very quickly the first time we boondocked.
Yeah.
So now we're more aware.
Yes.
And so I would say we figure if we conserve like we used to in Carl, that we could easily go a week.
And I think we did that this summer after we
We
figured
went
it
5,
out.
yeah, we were going 5 nights
Mhm.
and we still weren't full. So, and the black tank's definitely no issue at 45 gallons. In fact, I would say our biggest issue now is running out of fresh water because you have 45 gallons. If you theoretically fill up your gray tank, that leaves nothing to put into the black or to use for washing dishes and things like that. So, well, I guess that would be your gray, but
Okay. I think this is about Ohio Pyle. If I understand Phil Hampton here, he says,
Okay.
question, we just booked 148, so that's site 148.
Yep.
I think the only thing left with electric is 120, 122, and 149. There are 2 handicap sites available. I think they are 140 and 144. Not sure of the numbers. I think he just wants people to know.
thank you,
Okay.
Phil,
Yeah.
for sharing that. That's great. So there's 3 electric sites, Phil says, left
Yep.
for Ohio Pyle, and then there's a bunch of non-electric. So, if you boondock and you don't need electricity, and hopefully in October
Oh, it should be cool.
it'll be nice and
Yeah.
cool, you won't need electricity, then there's going to be plenty of space there. And we're just going to, it's still going to be nice to get to see some of you. And,
Yeah,
and
lots
I'm
of fun.
sure, I mean, when I say we won't have any official activities, but
We had fun
we'll
this
end
summer.
up, we'll just end up doing like we did this summer where we'll decide to, if you
Go
bring your
somewhere.
bicycle, we'll go bicycle
Exactly.
riding. Or if you
Yeah.
want to go, we'll go tour Falling Water.
Right.
And if I remember right, the little town is even kind of quaint.
It is
Yeah.
very Ohio Pyle itself is very cool.
Cool.
And they have a museum that there's a beautiful falls overlook that you can go see.
Okay.
I mean the river itself is really
Yeah, I do remember that overlook.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and there's plenty to do. And Karen and I will likely be biking, so if anybody wants to go on a biking trip, we'll be glad to.
That's awesome.
To go with that.
John and Susan Wiskow here from Minnesota.
Oh, John and Susan.
Their pictures of their cabin at
Yes.
the lake is just beautiful.
So
You
if
guys
you're
are
on
doing
Instagram, which by the way, I am a
beautiful
huge
photos.
fan of Instagram. I love Instagram more than any other social media platform right now because I just love the fact that it's just pictures but go to Northwood City Girl and you can see John and Susan have been building this amazing cabin up in Minnesota.
It's beautiful.
And it's just awesome. And so,
Uh-huh.
and they also have a tab.
Yeah.
So they're part of the
Yeah.
tab community. But
And Lori wanted to say thank you for asking about Corey. He's doing better.
Good.
Every day he's getting better.
I've seen your updates, Lori, on social media, and so I'm glad he's doing better. So
Looking here for any questions. Can't see anything.
There's one from Mark there.
oh, we got Mark. What's a question? And this might be a little faster
I
than
think
there.
so.
What would you like to RV where you haven't been?
Where
would you like to RV where you haven't been? Well, let's start with you guys. Where would you like to go that you haven't been?
Oh, well, we've
actually
actually
talked.
been to Yosemite, but we would love to RV in Yosemite. It's a little far, but we would.
Oh,
love
I see.
to
There's
RV
some more
there.
right here.
Yeah, Yosemite. Yeah, that would be great. Where would you like to go, Patty, that we've never been with the RV?
The Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
That's always been on our bucket, but for working in the summer, we just thought it might be a little hot. So
Yeah.
we're thinking that's going to be something after we retire.
I mean, Alaska is still
Yes.
our plan.
Someone's asking, is that Alaska still on?
Yeah, so Alaska is still on.
For next summer.
Or at least we're, us and the Roads We Roam
Yep.
are still planning to go. Obviously, if things don't change, I mean, I quit giving up thinking what should happen.
Yeah.
But if the border's not open come June, obviously we won't be going. But right now, yes, we're planning Alaska for 2021.
And Cynthia's asking, she has a couple questions here.
Okay.
Did you guys see any bears in Yellowstone? We didn't.
We
They
saw, I think 4.
Yeah, and we saw a mom with 2 babies on the back.
Yeah, that was cool.
That
Were
was-
those grizzlies or
Yeah,
black?
they were
Black.
All
Black
the
bear.
bears we saw were
Okay.
black
Yeah, we
bears.
didn't see any other one.
Okay.
And have you had any scary experiences while camping? I can't think of any scary experiences.
Not counting tonight.
Yeah. So, I would say probably the scariest was 2 summers ago when we went looking for that boondocking site.
Yes.
And we were up
That
on that
would be-
hill and
yeah,
we hit,
you're
and
right.
there was a gate. That was a little nerve wracking because I had to back the trailer down.
Well, and when you'd hear, I was in the car, and you'd hear the tires just get pulled, and they weren't rolling. The trailer was pulling us backwards. I guess that freaked me out the most. I thought I was going off the cliff.
And then there was actually a scary moment this summer, which we don't talk about in the video because Patty doesn't even know about it because I didn't want to share when it was happening.
What?
But
Dish,
It's
yeah.
dish.
happening live.
So yeah, this is literally happening.
Confessions.
And when we were camping in the Tetons, one afternoon I was outside and like 4 black Jeeps pulled up. And they went over to one of our neighbors and was asking him something, and he walked with them back behind where he was camping. Then they came out, and 2 of the guys went up to that site that was up on the hill.
Yeah.
And next thing I know, they're coming out with something, like a box or a cooler. And then they all got in their cars, and then they sped on up. And I was like, this is odd. Like, why would they have something hidden up there? And so, honestly, I was a little nervous the rest of the night.
Deal, you think?
I don't know. And
You didn't tell me about this.
no, because I didn't want to worry you. But I didn't sleep a lot that night because I kept thinking, are they going to come back and kill all of us?
You're not going to sleep.
No, I'm not going to sleep. Very
Yeah,
well
obviously,
tonight.
it was nothing.
They were
Here's,
probably underage.
here's what I think. There was hiking trails back behind where our campsites were.
Right.
I'm wondering if they were carrying like a cooler and got tired, and then when they got back realized they didn't have their cooler, and I don't know. But and I thought it was odd that they were all driving black, like Jeep Cherokees.
Remember those
You remember
Jeeps.
how they all sped in together like a group? And
Yeah.
But everything's fine. We're still here.
Well,
Which, by the way, if that video where you were backing down that hill, if you had lost Carl then, we wouldn't be here
This is
tonight.
true.
True.
I never thought about that when you talk about chain of act. You know, like how things happen. If Carl goes over the hill 2 summers ago,
We are here.
we never meet you.
Well,
Maybe.
thinking about this summer too, now you got me thinking. There was 2 moments that maybe I was a little scared in the trailer
Right?
because when we camped at Big Sky Brewery, remember Truman started doing a low, deep growl.
And you thought something or
Somebody
someone
was outside the trailer.
Yeah.
And I was trying to see up. I couldn't see anything. I don't think there was anybody there. And then when we were boondocking with Russ and Carrie across from them, I could hear like a grunt.
That was a bear.
And it ended up later they found bear scat
Yeah.
near the barn. And so they all thought I was kooky because I thought there was a bear outside, and I think there was a bear. So, but anyway. Yeah, nothing.
So-
Well, I'm glad you didn't
But
tell me
no,
that then, because I would have
honestly,
been like,
though,
we're out of here.
Cynthia, honestly, no. And normally it's
Yeah.
not scary. And, you know,
Yeah.
no, it's
yeah.
not. I mean,
Okay. All right, here it says,
except for the time Mark pulled in late at night and was really close to the awning. That was a little scary.
okay,
It worked though, didn't it?
Yes.
from Mark, where would you like to RV where you haven't been yet? And I think we did that, didn't we?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
We did that one. No, that's okay because we cheated.
Yeah, we went ahead.
Mobi, does the Lance 1985 have a pull-out TV swing arm?
Yes. So the TV is located, well, it doesn't, you can't tell, but it's located by the dinette, which, by the way, last night for the first time ever, we watched TV while laying in bed,
Mhm.
and somebody had asked me online about it. It is perfect line of sight, so it lines up perfect. It lines up perfect here, but for instance, Mark and Karen might have a hard time watching TV, so we can actually slide that out. It is on a swivel arm, and we could swivel it out a little bit, so yes.
Maybe.
Right. Let's see here. There was something I missed it. Hold on. Do you leave the pups, this is from Mark Chambers, in the lands when you go exploring? Is your generator set up to auto start if the power goes off and the temperature rises? We don't leave them that often. Like
No.
this summer we didn't.
When we don't leave them unless we're plugged into
Yes.
electricity. So we would not leave them if we were boondocking because no, our generator's not set up to do anything like that. So we left them today for a couple hours just to run out, and they actually enjoy it because it gives them some downtime and nap time.
We get that kennel out, and they didn't even have their harnesses off because we took them for a walk, and they jumped right in.
Yeah, they were
don't-
thrilled.
They don't mind going in the kennel, but no, if we have to be hooked up to power for
Yeah.
me to feel comfortable. To
And
leave
we don't
them.
go out very
Mhm.
long. And
No.
then, we do things like we leave the air on
Yep.
with the fan running continuously. We have the radio on. We close all the blinds. because ultimately what we want is for them to actually sleep and relax.
You're right,
And-
Jim. He says Patty will never sleep again. You're right.
He said that.
And
Jim Guzman,
and Russ is
which
Carrie
Jim's going to
said-
be over here tomorrow
Oh,
night.
good.
So yeah.
It'll be nice to meet you.
Carrie's like, my face was LOL. My
Yeah.
face when you said that.
Well, you know how sometimes
It's okay,
I was
Cindy.
tired, I was at high altitude, and then maybe I watched one too many episodes of Justified or something like that, and so you know how your mind just kind of, and then you start thinking, what if?
Yeah, I know.
And I thought, why bother Patty with it? Because most likely it's just me. I probably should have been more afraid of the group of girls camping down below in the tents who, when they needed to go potty, just would drop their drawers in front of all of us.
You got mooned completely.
Yeah.
So we all saw that. Glenn Larry says, sorry I'm late to the camping party. Is the camping trip for Vermont on for October?
Oh my gosh.
No, unfortunately, Glenn, we actually canceled it yesterday. We tried to push this thing off as long as we could, but Vermont still has travel restrictions, and so a good portion of the country cannot come into the state of Vermont without quarantining for a minimum of 14 days before your arrival, and which meant we couldn't even legally travel. And I say legally because I know somebody's going to jump in and say it's not state law, but we just can't. I mean, if the state is asking you not to come in, I'm not going to intentionally. So unfortunately, we did cancel. But Glenn, what we're telling people is if you live in an area that you can travel to Vermont safely, you probably should still go and enjoy Vermont. I mean, trust me, the draw of that campout was not Patty and me. It was the fall foliage, the maple syrup, the Cabot Creamery, all those great things.
Cider, all
the
that
cider,
stuff, yeah.
So.
Sarah Wisco was asking, sorry, where are you going to post the link to TWD Live? And Carrie took care of that, and she gave the link down below. So thank you, Carrie.
Thanks, Carrie.
And Mark asking, do you guys carry any board games in your RV? Yes, we do. And if so, which ones? Well, actually, card games.
And there's a little bit of a backstory to it.
Oh,
we have card games.
I know which Mark that is.
Yeah.
And he is the owner of probably 152,000 board games.
Wow.
None of them you have ever heard of before, because they're these 5-hour-long strategy games, and he brings them over to our house. We spend about 3 hours learning how to play it, and then we never play it again.
Well, he's desperate because he goes, Mom, do you want to play?
So we carry Farkle and Yahtzee. I think those are the
Yahtzee.
games.
And
you like Yahtzee?
Oh, yeah,
we play Yahtzee.
That's the game we carry always in our trailer is Travel Yahtzee.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yep. Let's see here. I saw something.
Well, maybe he could recommend a few.
Yeah, that's right.
Perhaps you could recommend a few more.
Glenn Larish is asking, what's for dinner tonight?
We had Montana ribeyes from Double R Ranch in Montana. They were about an inch and a half thick. Each one was close to 1.5 pounds. We only cooked 2 and split them, which was plenty. And they're
no beans and wieners tonight.
No.
We ate, as some people might say, high on the hog, except it was beef.
Yeah,
we had pumpkin pie.
Oh, pumpkin pie.
Costco's pumpkin.
Yeah,
some fried potatoes, some asparagus, and a nice bottle of Cabernet Sauvignon.
Caesar salad. And
Caesar salad,
and whipped cream.
But I'm telling you, here we go again. We did this the last live stream, but I'm telling you, Montana beef.
So good.
And so what I did was, when we got home, what was that, a couple weeks ago, I decided I was going to treat myself for my birthday and order some Montana beef. And I ordered it from, it's called, if you go to snakeriverfarms.com, they sell under, the Snake River Farms brand is their Wagyu, which is even more expensive. And then they also have the Double R Ranch brand, which is what we were buying at Albertsons. And here's what I will tell you. It is not cheap. The ribeyes were $35 a piece. Okay? I ended up getting 2 ribeyes, 4 flat iron steaks, and a package of their all-beef hot dogs, and it was about $120 to have it shipped. But let me just say this before everybody goes nuts. Okay? Number one, the packaging was amazing. It came FedEx in a biodegradable cooler packed with dry ice, and then inside of that was a thermal bag that you keep. Really
Oh.
nice thermal bag with
Wow.
the Snake River Farms logo, and then 2 more ice blocks in there. So my meat was completely frozen when it got to Indiana from Montana.
Mhm.
So if you just think about the cost for them to ship it, and then take that, I figured up, what did we say tonight? There was 5 meals
That was a
there.
lot of meat.
That's about $25 a meal. What would you spend if you go out for a
No,
really
no,
good
no.
steak dinner?
Oh yeah.
And honestly, you can't eat at Applebee's, 2 people,
Oh.
for under probably $35 to $40. So I know it's not something we would eat every night, but
it was a nice treat.
it was a nice treat. And I'm just telling you, that beef is amazing from
Well,
Double R Ranch.
I am glad you treated yourself
Yes,
for your
and you
birthday.
treated
Yes.
us. Thank you.
You remember the last live stream we got onto food?
I know.
Okay.
There's
This is now
Roxanne Morrill's going, oh no, not another
Roxy!
Food Network live streaming. It's dinner time in California.
Roxy and Brian. Hey guys.
And then Brian says, Brian and I are hungry. We
So-
had steak last night.
So Brian's been messaging me. He's this close, I can tell, to getting some lithium batteries.
Is he?
Yeah, he's been messaging me about it. I actually thought that he might go the route of a brand new trailer, because if you remember in Montana, he said I was a bad influence on people.
Well, that's
And
Wow. Bruce.
and
Well,
but him and
we're
Roxy
here.
really did like our land. So I thought, well, maybe that's. But it looks like they're going to keep the 400 and maybe go lithium,
That's
which
cool.
is cool. Yeah, and they might be joining us in Alaska,
Well, that'd be
wow.
fun.
at least for part of it next summer.
Yeah.
At least that's what I believe the last I heard. So, which I'm excited.
And yes, Bubba Bug, it is dark here. She's like, is it dark there?
It is
About
Bubba Bug.
8
It's
o'clock,
welcome to the
8:15.
east.
It
Well,
gets-
it's not. I was going to say the East Coast. It's
Yeah.
not the, welcome to the
Mid-
Mideast.
Mideast
Midwest.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, about 8 o'clock anymore.
We're using our brand new
8:30?
studio
Yeah.
lighting that I paid $24.95 for on Amazon.
Well, I need
So-
to say hi to JT and DT's Adventures
Oh, hey guys!
from West Texas town of El Paso. Hello.
And Ron and Cindy Black. I
mhm,
saw
yep, they're here.
Ron and Cindy. Hey guys, hope you're doing well. And
Your niece Samantha wants some of that Montana beef. She said she hasn't had enough of it.
Yeah,
You need to
so
bring
Sam-
some
They're going to be
over.
making another order.
Yeah, well, Sam wanted, when we were out west, I said, what do you want for your birthday? Because we missed her birthday. And she said, well, those steaks you had look pretty good. So we actually brought her back some New York strips from Montana.
Oh, wow. Bubba Bug says, watching this along with blueberry cobbler and soft serve.
Ooh.
Oh.
Well, we found frozen custard for tomorrow.
Oh,
Carrie, yes.
Patrick,
Yes
a bad
and yes.
influence? That's
Bad
what
influence.
she put.
Yes and yes.
yeah, I think Brian said I should actually get T-shirts printed that said, bad influence travels with Delaney. So
Jeff Arizona wants to know how to find TWD Life, and Carrie did it again. She
Okay.
has the link down there for
yeah.
you, Jeff.
So if you're wondering, if you're going into YouTube and you're searching for TWD Life and you can't find it, there's a couple reasons. Number one is there's a lot of other TWD channels out there. And so because we're brand new, they don't even recognize. And a lot of times when you're a brand new channel under 100 subscribers, it's just hard to find that link. So I have put the link in the description for this live stream. Also, if you go to our Travels with Delaney page on YouTube, on the right-hand side, I believe there's a list of some channels. I periodically change those out and feature different channels. But right at the top is our new channel, TWD Life. If you click on that, it'll take you right there. And because I didn't want you to show up there and be like, there's nothing here, last week's midweek update, which we just posted yesterday, no, 2 days ago, is there for you, and you can get a little sneak peek.
And Roxanne says, Patrick, yes, is a bad influence.
Yeah. But hopefully a bad influence in the right kind of way,
Yeah. Following the pictures, they have their new puppy.
Yes.
We watched the video. We love your
Yeah.
new puppy.
And
Wade.
they said they've had him for 10 days, and he spent 6 of those days in a camper. It's like Truman.
He
you know?
looked so comfortable, too.
Oh my goodness, such a good little puppy. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
so cute.
And here's the thing, we have all these friends with YouTube channels,
Uh-huh.
and several of them are so close to 1,000.
Yes, they
So
are.
Johnny is getting real close to 1,000 over at Johnny's Journeys. The Fitches are getting real close. So if any of you haven't checked out their channels, please do, because here's the thing that most people don't realize is we as creators, and I remember I was like, I'm not a creator, I'm just a guy that made a stupid video and put it up. But the truth is we are creators. We work very hard to try to provide either educational content or entertainment content. And when you're first starting off, it's so hard. And if you can get to 1,000, it's kind of like that first benchmark that YouTube looks at. So, again, I know to you it might be like no big deal because it doesn't cost anything to subscribe, but to a channel that's trying to get to 1,000, that subscription means a lot to them. And like I said, they're working hard. Sometimes we get nasty comments, and that's okay. But sometimes the comments, I'm like, do you know how hard we work to just try to put out a quality video? They're not perfect. My name's not Ken Burns. My name's Patrick McCormick. Okay. And sometimes I do interrupt my wife, and she's okay with that. She's put up with it for 28 years, going on 29.
It's just a natural thing. It's just everyday life.
So, but
been that way.
So I want to help out. We have always supported small channels, so I just wanted to mention that because
Lou's here from RV Habit.
Speaking of small channels, he's not a small channel anymore. Our friend Lou from
How many
RV
did you
Habit. Oh, Lou, he's got several thousand now. When we first started out, I don't know how many subscribers we had, but we somehow Lou and us met, not physically, but online, and we've just kind of become virtual friends over the years. But I remember when Lou was real close, this was funny. We didn't have that many subscribers. We're live streaming one night. Lou was at like 980, 985. And I said, we're not shutting this live stream off till RV Habit gets 1,000. And then I remember thinking, there's like 25 people in this live stream.
But it went.
We got Lou ended up getting his 1,000. He's way past 1,000. He puts out amazing RV content. Like
Lou, just be careful. I became virtual friends with Patrick, and I ended up buying his camper.
It's okay.
Just
Lou's in a motorhome.
All right.
Lou's in a motorhome.
He's beyond us.
You're safe, Lou.
Lewis outside is here. Says good evening, everyone.
Hey, Lewis, down in Florida.
Yeah. Okay. Question from Howard Packer: is there a camping club that you like the most? Good Sam, KOA, etc.
Here's the problem with those, Howard, is they each have a specific purpose.
I'll move them, Donna.
And if we always are Good Sam's members for a couple reasons.
He fiddles.
It's a Good Sam / Camping World membership. So if you have to go to Camping World to get supplies, and sometimes we just have to, they're not always the cheapest, but they're convenient. You get their lowest price, and then you save 10% at any park that accepts Good Sam's memberships. So what we typically do with that is they offer a special where if you take 3 years, if you pay for 3 years up front, they give you a discounted 3-year membership price. And usually they're running a promotion. I think this year we got, a $30 gift card for Camping World. So that's what we do. And I like the Good Sam's. The other thing about Good Sam's is you get a discount on fuel at any Pilot or Flying J. And you also save, I think it's $3.50 on dump stations there. So instead of being $10 at $7.50, I just feel like that one has a lot of value for us. If you're going to stay at KOAs with any frequency, meaning more than once a year, you might want to consider the KOA card because you do save 10% on your stays, and you can accumulate points to basically get gift certificates, I think it's like $25 gift certificate, $50 gift certificate. So there. Harvest Host is by far my favorite.
I love Harvest Host.
And, Harvest Host is so amazing. Karen joined before they even owned an
We have a
RV.
camper.
Yeah.
We can't even stay there.
So
But for those of you who don't know Harvest Host, that's where you pay a yearly fee to get basically a database of wineries, breweries, farms, farm markets, museums, attractions that will allow you to overnight stay for one night in exchange for you, soliciting the business. So if you go to a winery, and then we buy a bottle or two of wine. If we go to a brewery, we do maybe a tasting and buy some beer or food if they have food. Our favorite is farm markets because when we're traveling, we always need fruits and vegetables. Yeah.
And wine.
And wine.
And
you always can use wine, right?
Or you go to a brewery and you get a friend a cotton shirt because he likes cotton.
Or was it last week's? It was this past Sunday's episode you saw where we stayed at a. No, it's this coming weekend. It's tomorrow. Tomorrow's episode is we stay at a wedding venue, which is part of Harvest Host, and it was the most beautiful place, and the owner was just the nicest lady. And in fact, I told Patty, if Randy has a sister that she doesn't know about, this lady was Randy's sister for Randy's Adventures. Yeah. I mean, the whole time I talked to her, I kept thinking, this looks like Randy.
It was almost like you're thinking, this is not Randy, but it looks like Randy. And then your brain was like, okay, the rating system on Harvest Host, what is that?
What is the rating system?
The new rating
The
system.
new rating system. Carrie's asking.
Oh, so my understanding, but I think I heard this from Carrie. So, so my understanding is now the hosts are going to be able. We've always, as members, could leave comments about host, but now the hosts are going to be able to rate members. Now, the general public won't be able to read those. Only hosts. So if you're a host, like let's say you own a farm and you say we'd like to
With
host,
goats.
yeah, with goats, and you'd like to host,
Yeah.
you could then ask for our membership number and say I'll call you back. Let me see if I have availability. You could look us up in a database and see, oh, these people never
Freeloaders.
buy anything and they leave trash all over. And then you could call back and say, I'm sorry, we don't have availability. Is my understanding? This is my understanding.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
So, because apparently, and I don't know, I haven't talked to Joel now in about a year who owns Harvest Host, but I'm guessing Harvest Host has had some complaints from some of their hosts because in the last 3 or 4 months, they've done a lot of advertising on Facebook and Instagram of the rules. And, and they're basic rules like don't leave trash and just be polite and common sense stuff. And solicit. Now, I will tell you this. We stayed at a brewery this summer, and I went in and I bought a flight of beer. I bought a 4-pack, and I bought pizza, and she thanked me and said, thank you so much. And I said, oh, that's part of the membership. Yeah. She said, I wish all members understood that. Apparently, they have had a bunch of people who, they just show up, they're members, they spend the night, they don't buy anything.
Yeah.
And she goes, we're not a free campground.
Right.
Like, we do this. We love having you here, but they need to, and so I think maybe that's been happening. So I'm always reluctant to say it's free camping because it's not free. But again, when we leave here on Monday, we're not leaving with fruits, vegetables, wine, beer, or anything. We just lost $150. Yeah. Yep. And I shouldn't say lost, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So.
Brian Merle says, I'm a VIP KOA member and put 550 million points to get $5 credit.
Yeah, Brian. That's the way I feel. I'm like, and we're so close. Like, I haven't wanted to redeem all summer because we qualify for a $25 gift card, but I want to get to the 50 because it's a much better value for the number of points. But I swear it's like, I feel like we're in quicksand. We're in KOA quicksand right now with getting points. And here's the thing that bugs me about KOA. And Carrie, I hope it's okay. You're fine. I don't think Carrie cares if I say this, but here's what bugs me about the KOA system. So I booked 3 KOAs for all of us on the way out to Yellowstone this summer. They won't extend the discount to more than one site.
Yeah.
Even if I paid the bill. I said, I'm paying for the sites. They said, no, you only get one, and you only get points on one.
Really?
Yeah. She said, and every KOA says the same thing. If you want to be able to get 2 discounts and 2 points, you have to buy a second membership, which I think is ridiculous because a lot of times families travel in groups
yeah,
or friends, and like if you guys were going and Marky wants to bring his RV, you might say, well, I'm going to treat you guys, and you'd want to get your points you're paying. KOA won't do that, and that's one thing that does kind of bug me a little bit.
Hi, Mary Arner. She's just got on here. Diane S. What type of campgrounds do you recommend for new trailer campers? So I assume new people camping, RV campers. What do you think?
I always say
it depends on the type of camping. Probably.
Yeah, it kind of depends on what you like, but I would say to start off, pick out campgrounds that maybe have pull-through sites. That way you don't have to worry about necessarily backing in. Just get used to the trailer. Get used to going. And here's the thing. Even though sometimes I complain about KOAs, there are a lot of really nice KOAs.
We had some nice this summer.
This one here is very nice. And we've been here. This is, I think, our 3rd time or 4th time.
The one in Billings was beautiful.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, I think that's okay to start off. If you've
done
never
our driveway.
boondocked, you probably don't want to boondock the first time out. That's why we didn't boondock on the way to Yellowstone. Because Mark and Karen, it was their first time
we
at the
didn't
trailer.
want to put them through that pressure.
We didn't want to scare them, like showing up on...
It's different. Actually, pressure backing up.
We like state parks. Now, we tenanted state parks before we bought a camper.
Yeah, we like state parks.
But we've done several of them since we've left you guys in West Yellowstone. And there's almost always electric hookups that you can
Yeah.
you can use, and they're very nice. They're wooded usually.
And I always say, if you're thinking about the boondocking, start in your backyard or your front yard or wherever, if it's legal for you to camp, or just
We've been in our driveway.
yeah, go to a local Walmart,
Yeah.
because that way halfway through the night, if you're like, oh, this is horrible,
Go home.
you just start the car up and drive
Go
home
home.
and say, okay, we're not boondockers. It got too hot in the trailer.
Yeah. Randy's asking, was my new sister as fun as me?
Yes, Randy. Except your new sister owns some beautiful property
She-
in Montana.
You may want to contact her.
Yeah. Tracy, I believe, was her name.
Yeah.
And like I said, just the most lovely lady, and a true entrepreneur.
Oh my goodness.
Um,
Yeah, she lost 75% of her weddings this
Yeah.
summer. Is that right?
yeah, you're right.
And then
I was trying this, not interrupting.
Okay. Well, I thought maybe I said it wrong. And then she was putting in a campground to compensate. She's trying to put in something else to help her business. So I thought she was really neat person.
True entrepreneur, because
Yeah.
most of us, if we had lost 75%
We'd
of
be
our
thinking, I'm
revenue,
just saving money.
we'd be like, we need to save, we need
Yeah.
to stop. Not Tracy. She said, let's go out and spend more money and put in a
small campground.
Because
Yeah.
her thing is, I need another revenue stream. Plus, she was telling me she thinks it's going to be great for her wedding
Yeah.
business.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
then people, if they want to, they can bring campers
Right.
and stay right where the wedding and the
Mhm.
reception is.
It's such
so.
a beautiful spot. Mark's asking, what's your favorite movie to watch out camping?
Ooh.
What
do you
did we
think?
watch last night? we watched Rush Hour
Shower.
last
Rush
night. So
Hour.
I don't know
But
if that's
that's not
our
our
favorite.
favorite.
but it was funny.
It was just funny.
I don't know about a favorite movie, but a favorite camping movie has been RV with Robin
Oh,
Williams.
yeah, you can't go wrong with RV by Robin Williams.
And what we like to have.
Go grab those tortilla chips.
Mad About You. We carry Mad
We
About You.
carry a season of Mad About You. We love that show,
Mhm.
and that's
Oh, I
always like
remember that.
if we can't get TV and it's raining out, we'll pop in a Mad About
Mhm.
You, and so
Yeah. What is your favorite harvest host? This is from Ron Black. Ours is Wills Creek in Alabama. Love that place. Gosh, a favorite?
yeah,
I mean, there's been so many. There's been the Lavender Farm in Washington. We've had,
You were in a berry
well,
farm.
the wedding place.
the
was
Silver Knot. Yeah, that
It was
was
beautiful. But then
the
you
Blueberry Farm
Farm.
in Oregon.
Yes, because you had Mount Hood in the background.
I know it's
It's
hard,
to pick.
I mean, I think this summer we were saying it was the Silver Knot because we were there. But
Well,
yeah,
and
I mean,
sometimes the ones that give you, like you can get food, like pizza off the fire pit. Those are cool, like at those breweries.
Right.
So it's hard
and
to
we
pick.
stayed at. Okay, do you remember the name of the winery on the way home?
Winery in
The Red Trail. Red Trail.
Red Trail, wasn't it?
I think it might be Red Trail
With
Winery.
the dinner,
Where was
Yeah.
that?
That was near Fargo, North Dakota.
Dakota.
And I tell you what, that was amazing. I went. The gentleman and then the lady that own it were so nice and
Mhm.
welcoming when we got there. He does these dinners on Friday nights where he actually cooks. And
Smoked
we just happened to be there
ribs.
on a Friday night, and he uses meat from North Dakota
Yeah.
State University's agriculture program.
Um,
But I
More
went
on the
in.
list.
on the list.
I went in and to do a tasting, and he said, "Oh, is your wife coming in?" And I said, "No, she's going to stay out with the puppies." And he goes, "Well, then I'll taste with you." And him and I had, so we did all these wines, like 5 or 6 wines. He was telling me the history of the Red Trail, which used to be the original route to the West Coast, and that's why he named it the Red Trail Winery. The history of the building that it's in. And I said, well, you know what? After all that, I said, I guess we better buy some wine. He goes, I was thinking we ought to taste them again before you make any final. It's that kind of thing. It just, he made us feel like
Mhm.
family. And then because we couldn't eat inside because of Truman and Bess, he said, how about you eat outside? Which was actually a better
Yes.
table. It was right by a water fountain.
Yes, but they had
And I said, well, I will come in and get our food so you don't have to run back and forth. And he's like, no, we'll bring it out. And I mean, it was just amazing. Like,
they were so welcoming.
just so
yeah.
nice.
Mhm.
And
Roxanne Morrill, Montavon, very far.
Montavon's very far.
They love
Yes.
that one. That's one of their favorites.
And I'll tell you what. Yeah, well, I'll just leave
It's
it at that.
just
It's just amazing.
amazing
there.
place.
So
yeah.
I guess we didn't answer your question. There's just so many.
There's
of
so
them.
many.
Have you guys? You have not.
No,
stayed
but
yet.
I want to go like on a trip, and all I want to do is harvest.
No,
those.
and I think part of the reason we didn't this summer is because we had such a streak of super hot days.
Yes.
And the thing with harvest toasting is that
Yeah.
if it's going to be 82 degrees at midnight.
Well, we had a
it's
couple, and
hard
it was
to-
92 in here,
Yeah.
and we were having. That's when we had a little trouble with
I
our
know. Here's what I will
generator.
say.
But
I'm
it
going to
cooled
guess
down out
most
west,
harvest
so-
hosts you probably shouldn't
run.
run your generator. But we had a couple this summer.
He said, "Go ahead."
The gentleman
Mhm.
there at the winery said, "Of
Okay.
course you can run your
Yeah.
generator, you know." And then also at the brewery, she right up front said, "Hey, I'm going to space you out from the other RV that's here tonight. That way, if you guys want to run your generators," I said, "I can run my generator."
Well, we
And-
tried
Buying a
your
generator, and it didn't
Yeah.
work
that fell
out.
through.
So
Yeah,
Bad
I know.
influence.
Maybe we can make a deal.
I know where you. I know where you. I know you get one. Well, Dave Fitch owns a Honda 2200. So as soon as I get to go camping with Dave, he's going to try running our AC. If our AC runs off the Honda, then we might be
We'll
able
have
to
one up for sale.
swing a deal.
All right.
Yep.
All right.
That's all the
Thanks,
questions
Dave.
I have right now from anybody. So if there's any more questions, just pop them in there.
All right. What else?
The Fitches are saying they keep losing our stream.
aw,
Oh no, is it us
I don't
or
know. Roxanne, where was the brewery again? Well, we had different breweries.
Stevensville, Montana?
Montana,
It's
yeah,
called
that-
Wildwood Brewing, and what's nice is they do. I think every night they have a wood-fired pizza oven, and every night from I think it was like 5 to 7, they do wood-fired pizzas,
Mhm,
and the beers were excellent.
mhm.
And again, you know, the camping was, or the place to park wasn't anything great. I mean, it wasn't bad. It was just out in the parking lot, or and I don't know, but it was just the beer was excellent. It was so nice to be able to walk down, get a couple small pizzas, and
I'd like to welcome Lawrence Ward. He's a new subscriber.
oh, welcome.
Says thanks again so much for all you share. Christo, hey Patrick and Patty, do you have any recommendations on safety while traveling or camping? I guess one of the things we always think of is go with your instinct. If it feels weird and you're pulling
Yes.
into a campground, because there was one a couple summers ago. It was okay, but we had a weird feeling. We probably should have just moved
Left.
on somewhere else.
And here's what I would say. I don't think they're here tonight. MJ and Izzy from Endless RV.
They have a video
Izzy,
on this.
Izzy
They
is
just did.
in law enforcement, and they just recently put out a video about that subject. And because of Izzy's background, I thought they did a great
Mhm.
job on that. So you might check out Endless RVing for that video. But I'm with Patty. If it just doesn't feel right,
Yeah.
just move along.
Go with your instinct.
you know-
Because we were at a Walmart one time, wanted to do and it just didn't feel right. And
and we left.
We
and
left.
we went on down the
It
road
just
about
didn't-
20 minutes, and there was another Walmart, and it was a totally different vibe,
Yeah.
and there was no issue. And you know what? We might have been fine. There was just a lot of people in the parking lot, a lot of cars, like, going around in circles, and, it just
Yeah.
felt off. And so there's a case where we just said, it's better to be
move.
safe
Yep.
than sorry. So
Mark's asking, what's your favorite beer?
Well, my go-to beer is Guinness, but Patrick got me beer this summer at Big Sky Brewing, which was Moose Drool.
Moose Drool,
That
yes,
was-
Big Sky
that
Brewing.
was- and it's a dark beer, and that was really good. I like that a lot.
I have
But-
two that I'm thinking of in my head. Apricot Blonde,
Apricot Blonde from
Colorado.
it's somewhere
Aurora, Colorado.
in
I think.
Aurora, Colorado. I don't remember the name of the brewery, but
Yingling.
Patty likes Yingling.
Yingling. Yeah.
And somebody else out in Montana likes Yingling. What's his name? Carrie, help me
Russell.
here.
Russell.
Russell Balber. Oh, we were
Balber.
going to try to dial up Russ and see
Yeah.
if he was.
Stop Eat Explorer has a question for you, hon.
Yes,
How is your backup camera working at night? Have we done it at night?
we still have not driven
Even
at night, so
Usually
I don't
not.
know.
This summer we stopped before dark every
Yeah,
time.
we have not actually driven
Good
yet
question.
with it after dark. Which I'm always, if I can possibly not drive at night with the RV. It's not that I mind driving at night. I don't like setting up at campgrounds at night.
Yeah.
Oh,
Um,
Oh, this would be really hard.
I'll tell you what, though, Dave or Susan, whoever it is, I will have an answer for you here in about a month, because when we go to Ohio Pyle in October,
Mhm.
we will definitely be doing some night driving, and so we'll find out.
And we might need to go to Maumee Bay in the end of weekend of September because the Fitches are going to be there.
Ooh.
The last week of September.
Okay, give me those dates, Dave, and I'll see if there's anything available.
And Jeff, Arizona is asking, I'm going for ice cream, chocolate or vanilla. I vote chocolate.
I go vanilla. So
I'm a vanilla.
I'm
I'd go
chocolate.
chocolate.
It's an easy one. Adam from Florida's here. Hi, Adam.
oh, hey, Adam.
And Roxanne, because the Fitches said Maumee Bay. What's Maumee Bay? Well, it's a state park in Ohio.
Yep,
Mhm.
right on Lake Erie.
Mhm, real
And
pretty.
we've actually been there a couple
Mhm.
times. It's been a long time.
Truman. Diane S., do you feel safe at Harvest Host? And can they be kind of secluded? Kind of, but we've always had, where we've been, there's been others.
Yeah,
there.
I've never felt unsafe at
Mm.
Harvest Host because, again, they're businesses, And a lot of time, if they're like family-owned businesses, like Montavon's a good
Yes.
example, they live right on at the blueberry farm, and he's in the military, so you feel extra safe. But yeah, or
And usually, like the breweries, there's some lighting.
yeah,
Big Sky, I heard Truman growl, but there was enough lighting that it was probably just a dog or something.
I think that's what it was just an animal.
Yeah, he just got a little excited, like now.
Super chat.
Super chat.
Super chat.
Super chat from Ookie the Frog.
Thank you, Ookie the Frog.
That's,
That's
a cool
awesome.
name.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
Yeah, Ookie, Team Yingling.
Yeah, that's right. That was a key. Yingling. So yeah, no, I've never felt unsafe at Harvest Host. And was there a second part to that question?
No.
What's
Okay.
Eats?
Stop Eat
Explore $4.99. Thank you guys.
Oh.
Sorry we're late. Hi guys.
Thank
Endless
you
RVing.
so much.
That's Endless RVing.
Oh, Endless RV.
Did that.
Oh.
Thank you guys.
Oh, no problem, MJ. Izzy. Hey, I was just talking. I don't know if you heard it. If you just got here, you didn't hear it. Somebody was asking about security and safety in an RV, and
They
I
have a
recommended they
video.
go get your video or go to your channel, check out your video.
Yep.
Because Izzy, obviously, with your background in law enforcement, I thought your video was excellent, and so I think that's where everybody should go if you have questions about staying safe in an RV. And actually, Izzy, Patty answered the question with one of the things you and MJ said, which is go with your gut. If it doesn't feel
Yeah,
right,
if it doesn't feel right, I'm like, we did one time, we gotta get out of here. It doesn't feel right to me.
yeah.
So
Cool.
Nate D says, just found you some of your Yellowstone. We don't have a camper yet, looking for a good used one. Love your new one. Thank you. Kathy McGraw is here, says, hi guys. See here. Adam, I hope it works out to see you both in December. Well, that's kind of the thinking right now.
Yeah, and I don't know, Adam. We might
try something a little different.
We'll see. We might try doing a meetup, like an afternoon meetup someplace. I guess a lot of it's going to depend on the rules in Florida, COVID. But even if we can't do a meetup, Adam, if we can get together with you, we'd love to.
Sure.
So, and I don't know, Jason Carter's still in the room. I don't know if Jason is possible during that. We should be down there for close to 2 weeks.
Right.
So.
Christo asked, are you guys familiar with Branson, Missouri?
We've
never been.
No, we'd like to. That's definitely a place that we've always talked about going.
Yeah, and any recommendations for October trip? Well, we like to go with the full foliage. We've been to the Smokies.
Yep.
And Vermont is just beautiful.
Yeah,
You hit it
Vermont's
just
wonderful.
right.
But if you can't go to Vermont, then I would, I think the Smokies are a great place to go. Asheville, North Carolina
Beautiful.
is gorgeous. Anywhere along the Blue Ridge Parkway, Shenandoah.
Yep.
The thing is, the foliage hits differently along the parkway. So depending on when you can go, there's a app. Do you remember the name of that app?
I do. Isn't it called I got it on
Leaf
my
Peeper.
Leaf Peeper.
There's
Yes.
an app called Leaf Peeper, and people just update what the foliage is in any given area, and it's a good way to try to figure out how the foliage is going to be on a given day.
Stop Eat Explore has a question for you guys.
Yes.
How is Mark carrying the bicycles? How are you guys carrying your bicycles?
Actually, right now, that's a bit of a dilemma. Right, we brought the bikes this trip, but we have a Toyota Highlander, so we have them. I took the wheels off and was able to lay them seats down and put them in the back of that. We're looking for another option, maybe in between the Tab and the Highlander. So they have bike racks, but we have to check and see on that. But right now, we're just putting them in the back of the Highlander, so it's not the best solution, but
No.
that's what we're doing. So good question.
And we
We
have a problem again.
we had to
because
figure it out too.
they won't fit under the tonneau, and I've decided I don't want a topper on the tonneau.
Right.
So we ended up hauling them in the trailer. We put them in those 50-gallon crates, folded up. They fit perfectly along
Across
the
this way.
Yes,
Okay.
and still left us room to get in on stops to get to the refrigerator in the bathroom.
Right, and to protect, you had some pillows and some blankets and
so
things.
that's what
but-
we ended up doing this time.
And we decided we're not going to take them on every trip.
Right.
It's going to probably be shorter local trips. They won't go on long trips. They're just really heavy, but we love them, but they're just cumbersome. So that's what we'll do. Let's see here. Donna, what is the email address for TWD?
Email address, travelswithdelaney@gmail.com.
And Glenn Larish is suggesting an idea for October trip, the Adirondacks.
Ooh, that would be a good
are
one.
Great in New
And I don't
York.
know what is
Mhm.
there travel restrictions in New York?
That
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
Yeah, I don't know.
And actually, when we're in Ohio Pyle, we should start to see that the Youghiogheny River Valley is beautiful when the foliage changes, but
Okay.
it probably will be the week after that it's going to.
We'll be there a little early.
Yeah, we'll be a little
So
early.
again, if anybody came in late, we had to cancel Vermont
Yep.
because there are travel restrictions. If you have a reservation, if you can still go, please go.
Yep.
But if you can't go, please call the campground and cancel your individual reservation. We are going to Ohio Pyle State Park in Pennsylvania that weekend, October 8th through the 11th. If anybody wants to come, there was still a couple of electric sites left and a lot of non-electric sites left there, and it won't be an official camp out, whatever that means, but it just means we can still meet each other, hang out. You can go biking on the Gap Bike Trail, or you can just walk it. There's a couple Frank Lloyd Wright houses in the area, plus Ohio Pyle is just a cool town, waterfalls. So anyway, just wanted to throw that out one more time if you're just joining us.
Oh,
Just
Fort
sit-
Necessity is there also. George Washington's fort from when he was a
Oh,
young man, so
yes.
that's not too far away.
It's
Randy
the
says
Fort
Minnesota is
Necessity.
beautiful.
No, that's not. That's
Okay.
not. That's
No.
Randy says Minnesota is beautiful in the fall.
Minnesota.
And the Fitches had to go, says due to the bag signal where they're camping, they're saying good night.
All right, good night, guys.
Camping Therapy just joined us, says hello everyone.
Welcome.
Let's see here. I thought there was something there. Did I miss?
Okay, so-
I think I'm up to date there.
Let's see. I called for Vermont meetup,
But yep,
and the state has too many restrictions.
so
Yeah, I
that's what
know,
we thought
Lou.
too.
It's
It's
you know, when I
couldn't do it.
talked to the lady at the campground, she was really nice. You know, she said, "Oh, you can come. Like people are still coming," but
there it is.
it was just really hard
Got
for like. I told her we can't quarantine, and we didn't feel comfortable not following the travel guidelines, I guess. So, anyway,
Right.
yeah.
Okay,
it
question
stinks,
about
but-
BLM land. Have you ever camped on BLM land?
Yes, we have.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's most of the time, not always. Some BLM land has charges
Right.
because it's a little more, organized. A lot of it though is absolutely free, and people just spread out. It's what we call dispersed camping, and yeah, it's wonderful. It wasn't Bureau of Land Management last summer. We stayed on Idaho wildlife land, which was dispersed camping. We stayed with the roads we roamed. The roads we roamed. They roamed them. Past tense. They're going to be roaming again soon. But it was great. You just pull up, you find a nice spot, you set up. It's free. Now you don't have any,
It's
amenities. It's boondocking. Yeah, there's no electric, water, sewer, picnic tables.
Mm-hmm.
They're usually fire rings where people have put like stones or whatever, and we love it. But
Okay, Vladimir, I'm going to apologize. I don't want to mess up your last name. So Vladimir says, I was leaving a campsite and disconnected a 110 AC cord. When a couple of minutes later I got to the dump station, I found that there was no DC-12 power at all. Did I disconnect the cord incorrectly?
well,
I
no. I mean, because ideally what you want to do is you want to shut that circuit breaker off at the post where you're plugged in and then unplug your trailer. But I got to be honest, I've forgotten before and unplugged, and it's never did anything to the 12-volt system. So it could be a situation where maybe your converter's going bad and your batteries weren't actually being charged, and so it's possible you have a dead battery. And I have seen that happen before, where converters will go bad, and your converter is where the battery charging is going to happen.
Mhm.
And if it isn't charging, then in essence, because even when you're plugged in, there's certain items that are running off of that 12-volt system in your trailer. So it could have been drawing and just drawed it down with no charging going on. So you might check that, Vlad.
Yeah. Good
Vladimir.
point.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry. I didn't mean
Vladimir.
to short your name.
Want to say hi to Ricky and Barbara. They're here.
Oh, RV underway.
Todd and Carla are here.
Miss
the Roses.
Barbara's here. She drove the big rig.
She
I saw
did.
that video. And yeah, and by the way, Miss Barbara, you did a wonderful job. Patty actually
did.
joined you this summer
Yeah.
as being in the captain's chair.
That's right.
And Patty did an awesome job
I
hauling.
did pretty good. I
She
didn't
did
run into
real
any
good.
pumps at the gas station. I
Nope.
was happy. So.
No, I was very proud of you.
And no cones.
Yeah.
No cones.
And
See,
interestingly,
love, I
Karen-
didn't have
Karen
to say
has
this
as well.
either.
yeah, this is what we did not hear.
Here, when I was driving.
Mark,
We don't hear it because I shut the volume off. I'm pretty sure it was Mark, shut up. So, and for those of you wondering where that clip came from, Karen was driving Carl for the first time in Wyoming, and I think you were merging onto the interstate.
Yes, we were coming off.
And Mark started giving you some directions, and you proceeded to tell him to shut up. So,
Todd and Carla are here. They
hey,
say
Todd
hello.
and Carla Rose.
How do you like your Lance?
Yeah,
They have
Todd
a
and
new
Carla are
Lance?
now part of the Lance family.
Mm-hmm.
Which is cool. And now I saw your new video posted. We haven't had a chance yet to watch it, but I'm curious to watch it because it's comparing their new Lance to their prior truck camper. And I think, Carla, you can leave it. I'm assuming it's Carla typing tonight. Is your Northern Lights still for sale, or have you sold it yet? Because their former truck camper, which was basically brand new, is for sale, or it was.
What Lance did they get? What kind?
A truck camper.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Goes in their truck, yeah.
It's
okay.
beautiful, too.
Yeah.
It's got beautiful
And
features.
Lance actually started manufacturing truck campers first, and then added the travel trailers, which I think is one of the reasons why there's so much storage and they utilize the space so well, because on truck campers, you've got to use every little nook and cranny.
Right.
And they kind of transferred that over to their travel trailers.
Mark's asking, obviously, you can't go now, but would you ever take your RV to Mexico?
Yeah, I mean, I would.
Possibly,
and I would do what KYD
You'd
or Keep
go
Your
in a
Days.
group.
I would go in a caravan.
Yeah. And
with people who've been before.
Right.
Well, you guys have done South Texas, right? As far as San Antonio.
Right.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So
But,
that doesn't really qualify as
but
Mexico.
no, it's not. It's not. My point is, it's not.
It's close.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
yeah,
it's,
we
it's
watch-
closer than Ohio.
We've seen other campers go, and they go in a group, and the people know the route to take and what to do, and that's probably what we would do
Yeah.
if we went, yeah.
So, yeah, I would consider that.
Well, you're welcome, Vladimir. He answered your question. He says thank you for answering the question. I think that's it. No more questions I see.
Okay. They're talking about logos, but I
Yeah,
don't know
it's
whose
a logo for somebody.
For somebody, yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to...
Yeah. I see Randy's giving ideas.
Yes, she
for,
is. Maybe an abstract logo.
We did go back to our old logo. I don't know. I just really liked it better.
Carrie
And
says, okay, Mexico 2022.
there we go. But when are we buying the ranch, Carrie?
Yeah, I wanted the
I think at
ranch.
some point we need to really get the ranch going
Yeah.
with the goats.
The
and,
goat ranch.
Yeah, I want
Yeah.
the
I'm
goats.
not saying anything.
So, for those of you going like, what is he talking about? So we have this thing going where Patty and I are we've seriously talked about wanting to buy some property in Montana for a summer home,
just for summer.
when we retire.
Mm-hmm. Just for summer.
And I just kind of said, and then Carrie had mentioned they would like possibly do the same thing. So we're like, we got to go in and split it. And then we started talking about all these ideas because like we want some goats and some chickens for eggs. And then Mark wanted to turn them like goats into gyros.
Gyros, we're like, no.
And we're like, no, that's not what the goats are for.
No,
But,
they're for hand cream,
creams,
lotion,
milk, and to put pajamas
yes.
on them. That's what they're for. We've
So-
come up with that.
I'm outnumbered.
One of my favorite new channels that we watch
Yes.
on YouTube is Our Wyoming Life,
Mhm.
Our Wyoming Life.
Yeah.
And it's a ranch out in Wyoming,
Mhm.
who happens to also just be a harvest host. But so I'm learning all about cows and just I love that channel. I
It's
don't.
just
What are you guys watching besides not the RV channels?
We like to
We like to
venture out.
expand beyond our RV life.
Yeah.
And so that's one we love. We also watch North and South, which is a family of 11.
Oh yeah, I've seen them.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and
I need to hook up with Uki the Frog. This is Patty's Pajama Goat Parade with Yingling.
with goats with
I'm
Yingling.
gonna add in the Yingling. They didn't add in the Yingling.
When we stayed at a winery, and I don't remember the name of it, in Oregon 2 years ago.
Yoga with goats is what Carol.
That's what they had at the.
yeah.
That's what I was gonna say at the
They
winery.
did.
One day a week they had yoga with goats. We weren't there on the right day.
Mm.
Yoga
Yeah.
with
Getting
goats.
RVs here says hi y'all. Says at least put a nice flat dirty pad for our tab 400 in Montana, and then goat milk.
There we go.
There you go.
Yeah, I
Research
mean,
goat care.
That's
Donna
one of the
says.
things I'd
I'm
love.
sure-
I wish we had a property where we could be a harvest
Yep.
host because
I think we could do that.
we would have so much fun greeting people.
Oh yeah,
I
it's
think
kind of
we
like
could do
when we.
that, too.
Yeah,
What's that?
We'd
vote
come.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
what would we buy?
I don't know. Here's the thing.
We'll
When,
figure that out.
when we
That
were
would
We're
be
not there
nice.
yet. We're not there yet.
when we were at the Silver Knot, I was under the impression she had some kind of little gift shop.
She did.
We got there
Oh.
and I said, "Where's your gift shop?" And she's like, "Oh, we don't have that yet." She's like, I'm going to put in, because with the campground we're going to have to put in, but I haven't gotten there yet. And I'm like, well, what are people buying? And she's like, oh, you don't have to buy anything.
We're like, what?
And so the morning we left, I ended up giving her a $20 bill because, one, the property was just gorgeous. And she said, she goes, oh, thank you. She said, some other people have done that. And I said, well, you know, good Harvest Host members know you're supposed to support. But yeah, she didn't even have anything to buy, so I was like, I'm just gonna give her $20 because it was so quiet.
Yes.
It was The property was just
Beautiful.
It
gorgeous.
looks so beautiful.
Yeah, I
Yes.
mean, it was worth every penny.
These guys love the grass.
Oh, they did. They had
It's like
such
carpet.
and
plush.
she told. In fact, she even said, make yourself at home.
Yes. Just
Just the pups, because I'm like, maybe you don't want them on the nice grass. Oh no, let the pups go. You know, she just said, make sure you clean up.
We do.
Which we
We
did.
do.
You know, because she
Yeah.
has wedding receptions
yeah.
there.
And Carla, I assume it's Carla, said, yes, our Northern Light still is available, but we have someone coming to see it on Tuesday.
But, oh well, that's good news, Carla.
They're loving their lands, and hope you guys are too. Yeah, we love the lands.
Yeah, Carla, I'm hoping, you know, that's something we really sometimes should talk about is if there's any way we can meet you guys somewhere in the middle for a long weekend, because we'd still like to. So for those of you who don't know, which I don't know, because we never really announced it, we didn't publicize it, us and the Runaway Roses, that's Todd and Carla's channel, we were going to go to Carabel Beach in Florida in the Panhandle for spring break. We both had our sites reserved, and the reason we hadn't told anybody was we originally were going to go camping with Todd and Carla in Virginia.
Yes.
And we had a camp out, and we didn't get to spend any time with Todd and Carla.
No.
And I said, we both agreed, like, let's not do YouTube. Let's just go have a vacation with the four of us and hang out. And then because of COVID, we had to cancel.
Yeah.
So we still haven't got to hang out with Todd and Carla.
Good night, Stacy. She says, good seeing you guys.
Bye,
Gotta say
Stacy.
good night. Join the new channel. See you there.
Thanks, Stacy.
Bye, Stacy.
Tell Chris we said hi.
Yeah. Yes, Donna's had a suggestion for us, something to watch.
Okay.
Turtle Mountain Animal Rescue. She says she likes that show.
Okay,
Or
those
those episodes.
I want to check that.
Yeah.
Turtle Mountain Animal Rescue. Oh, that sounds good.
Mm-hmm. Glenn Larish, do pajama goats taste good? Glenn!
Mark, you got a friend, Glenn.
Thank you, Glenn.
You don't eat the goats. No. Jim Kuzman, goat yogurt?
Yeah, we could do, Jim, we could do goat yogurt,
Yeah.
or we could do, now I never had it, but I always remember every time we're in Florida, there is a place that sells goat fudge. But somebody told me it tastes horrible, so I don't know if that's true or not.
Well, you can get cashmere from goats. Cashmere
Really?
goats.
Oh.
So you can have a whole fiber.
Okay. Wow.
Oh, my.
Here's another channel suggestion that Patty and I are hooked on right now. Yankee in the South.
They're fun.
So Yankee in the South is a whole channel.
Yeah.
They basically, it's all about the Smoky Mountains. So if you are planning a trip to Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg, Cherokee, North Carolina, any of that
They
area,
know it all.
and all it is they go out and they eat at
Bryson
restaurants
City, everything.
and review them. They stay at hotels and review them. They do the attractions. They do a lot of live streaming from Dollywood. And so there's
I agree
another
with you,
channel.
Carrie.
What Carrie
Carrie
said.
says, well, Glenn and Mark can just camp together.
There you go.
Question from Camping Therapy. Who is Delaney?
Oh, that is a great question. We get that a lot. So Delaney was our Cocker Spaniel that we had when we started the channel.
Ooh.
And unfortunately, 6 months after we started the channel, we lost Delaney to cancer.
Yeah.
And at that point, we already had the name, we already had the logo,
Yeah.
and we just wanted to keep the name as a tribute to her.
Yeah, her legacy.
But
she went everywhere, just like these guys.
But we get a lot of, emails that say, like, Dear Mr. and Mrs. Delaney. A lot of people assume it's our last name. It's not. We're the McCormicks.
Or that my name is Delaney.
Yeah.
So, Uki the Frog says, with the goat thing, that's why they wear the pajamas, because their fur is used for cashmere.
Oh, there you go.
See?
I didn't know that.
Knitting. We could
Yes.
get the cashmere
This
from
could
the
be a
goats.
whole working thing.
thing. Yeah, my goodness. I see it now. I see it.
Which way would you be taking to Ohio Pyle if you don't mind?
From where though?
Yeah, that would
From
be
where?
the question.
From our
Like
house?
from ours, we're going to take the Ohio
Oh, Turnpike, yeah.
over into Pennsylvania, or the Pennsylvania Turnpike, and then cut down somewhere.
Yeah, you would cut down I-79 to the south, and then it's there's the old National Road takes you through Uniontown, and then it's about 8 miles off of the old National Road. So.
Okay. Carrie chimed in, goat milk fudge is nasty.
Okay, that's who told me.
And then someone said, Carrie, have you tasted yours? Yes, in Florida. And then Roxanne has a puking face.
Okay, so
Okay, that's out. We're not doing
We're not
that.
doing that.
So that's what we're doing. We're going to try it this year. I mean, all the years we've been to Florida, and we never stop. It's Webb's. That's the name of it.
That's it.
Webb's.
Uh-huh.
And they're just south of Davenport on
yes.
27. And I went by that for years, ever since I was a little kid, and they have this big sign about goat milk fudge.
Mark asked, do any of the Harvest Hills locations have issues with bringing dogs? And Carrie answered, some, they will annotate that in their information
Yeah,
page.
when you become a member and you go to their website to look up, they have symbols for things like what size, and one of them is pet friendly, and most of them are pet friendly, at least the ones we've encountered.
Roxanne, when is Ohio Pyle dates again?
8th through the
October 8th through the 11th?
October, 8th through the 11th. I mean, again, it depends on when you want to come in. Patty and I will be arriving Friday
sometime.
early, fairly early, by
Yeah.
lunchtime at the latest. And then
then
we'll have
leave-
to leave Sunday morning
Right.
early.
Gotta go back to school.
But you guys will be
We'll
there
be
on
there
Thursday.
night, yeah.
Yep.
Susan Wiskow, how long is your new trailer? Isn't it 23 feet?
Yep. 23 feet, 3 inches, tip to tongue. Tip to tail, not tip to tongue.
She
That's
said-
not very far.
She says, we're trying to figure out if you brought it here to visit our lake property, if you would be able to turn it around in the narrow lot.
Ooh. I bet I could.
He's pretty good.
Or I could just back it in.
Yeah.
How long is the road?
Yeah.
But I mean, I could just back it in.
You back the whole way down at the
All the embankment.
Okay, yeah.
Well, that was
was
400.
Yeah, that was with the 400.
The thing is, this thing does. I mean, at home, I was a little worried whether I could
Back
pull
it
up our
Yep.
driveway and then back it, get it turned around like I did the 400. But I have been able to.
Kevin Sid says, a goat shaved away its beard and remarked, not by the glare of my chinny chin.
So we now have become the beef channel, the
Vinny
goat channel.
Mozzarella's here.
Hey, Vinny.
He said, just subscribe to your channel. Thank you,
Thanks, Vinny. So Vinny was supposed to go to Vermont,
Yes, I was
and
looking
Vinny and I had,
forward to it.
Vinny and I had a couple private message conversations, and
Bad joke,
He,
Glenn says.
he had he's got a backup plan. I think Vinny's going to the beach somewhere. So it's a bummer because Vinny's been with us a long time.
Mhm.
I was so excited to get to meet him and get to
Yes.
taste his mozzarella cheese. So again, one of these days we're gonna get out with
Me
you
too,
guys.
yeah.
So
I don't see more questions,
all right,
babe.
so I guess that's about it.
Yep.
We went an hour and 20 minutes.
Oh, hold on.
Oh, hold the
Says-
press.
Patty, I was in of WDW Entertainment. I hope you put Patty's goat pajamas together. I'm seeing Patrick in a goat costume.
WDW is in Walt Disney World.
That's what I'm wondering. You in a goat costume? Man.
I do it. I do it for entertainment value.
If I were home, I would super chat for the
Just-
fun dad.
just
the
just
fun
to
dad.
do that.
the fun, the
costume.
Patrick in a goat costume.
Yeah, I would do that.
Yeah. Okay. I bet you, if you said WDW, I think she means Walt
I
Disney
think
World
so. Walt
Entertainment.
Disney World, yeah.
Yeah.
And she goes,
I wonder how many people on here right now know that Patty and I were cast members for 2 summers at Walt Disney World.
Probably a few, but not
Maybe a
many.
few. Yeah, we
Mhm.
talked
'Cause
about it. We don't talk about it a lot,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, we were. And no, I wasn't goofy.
That's a good one.
Before anybody asked, but
What do
we
you think
worked.
of that
We worked in.
myself?
We worked in recreation at Disney's Old Key West
Mhm,
Resort.
mhm.
We did everything from renting boats and bicycles to handing out pool towels to actually driving shuttle boats between the resort
Hey,
and downtown.
really?
That was my favorite
Oh,
job.
It was a huge pontoon,
Ooh.
and they made you park on the opposite side. You could tell the story. Go ahead.
Which
Tell the story.
one?
About
The
how I
time you
s-
took out half the dock,
How I-
or
Yeah.
no, she didn't take out half the dock.
But how I was waiting for you, I picked you up from work,
Yeah.
and that day I had taken a guest to the other side to the shopping, and I did hit the dock pretty hard. And then my shift was over. He took
So
over.
we're coming into dock. It's the last run of the night. I didn't see Patty up top.
I'm waiting up top.
And as we come in, it's just a perfect landing. And the lady says, "Man, you're good." She said, "We had this gal earlier today." She said, took us downtown. Sweetest gal. But she said, "We hit that dock so hard."
Me.
And I started laughing. I said, "You're not going to believe this, but that gal was my wife." And they're like, "Oh, we're so sorry." I said, No. I go, "She's a terrible boat driver."
Well,
And then here she is. I get to the top of the steps. She's like, "So I'm a terrible boat driver."
well, and then I'm like, you've got to show me, because when we had boats, I would dock. You dock on the driver's side. I was used to that. So
Right.
you helped me learn. And by the time I got it down, we had to go home.
Right.
So he taught me how to do the opposite side.
I mean, it is hard because, the thing
Depth
about driving
perception.
a boat, have you ever driven a boat?
It moves so.
Cars go this way. They
boats
don't go this way.
everywhere.
Boats go everywhere.
hated it.
You're going forward, but you can also move side to
Ah.
side because, and
there's no brakes.
there's no brakes, and so and Patty is right because like when we would come into the main lake there at downtown
They'd make
Disney.
You dock on the opposite side.
So at night, and I don't know how it is because that was back in
Long time
2001.
ago,
That was a long
yeah.
time ago. But when we worked there, at night there were so many boats coming into the lake from all the different resorts on that waterway. They would have what was known as a dock master. Think of it as almost like an air traffic controller.
Yes, and they tell you where to
So
dock.
when you'd hit the lake, when you come from the channel into the lake, you'd radio up, and I'd say like, OKW1 to dock master, and requesting docking assignment because there was 3 different places you could dock, and sometimes they would literally say like,
Holding
OKW1,
pattern.
we need you to hold.
That's
And so you just kind of putz around the lake, and then they would assign you. At some point, they'd come on the radio and say, dock master OKW1, come to the top of the T.
I hated
because
the
the
top
dock
of the
was like
T.
a top, it was like a T-shaped dock.
I couldn't do top of the T.
And top of the T was always easy to me, but there was one where you had to come in, you had to swing in by the Rainforest Cafe and then make a hard right turn to get into the dock. So, I mean, it was kind of like you had to get right up against.
Did you have to do that?
Yeah.
Oh.
And,
No.
and again, there might be, I would you say at nighttime, there could easily be eight boats
'Cause
out
it was
on the lake.
busy.
And there's 3 spots to dock, and so you had all these bolts and holding patterns.
So long story short, I would trade.
I would take all of her
I'm
boat
like, you take
shifts.
all the boats, I will work Hanks and deal with customers and little kids with money and all that stuff. I'll do that.
Yeah, so
Did they train you? I mean, did you?
Yes, we had to go
We
through
did 2
training.
weeks of training,
Mhm.
but I think boat training was 1 day.
It didn't work for me.
And who did you have? You had Tony.
Tony was my trainer.
Tony was your trainer, and he did a good job. I had Rufus. True story. We called him his nickname around
Radar Rufus.
Radar Rufus because he was
always
constantly
watching
checking the weather.
Yeah, which was good.
He was a good guy. He was a great trainer for my boat training.
I had fun with Tony.
Yeah, Tony was a good trainer too, but so yeah, and then
We got to see a summer class.
But then what I loved to do was they used to have, and I don't know if they still do. They called it the overtime hotline. You could call up this number, and you could literally say like, "Hey, I'm looking for a 4-hour shift for tonight at the Magic Kingdom. Do you have anything available?" And you tell them what you were trained to do. So I would go pick up shifts over at the Magic Kingdom and work what was known as PAC, Parade Audience Control, which basically meant
Yes, his memories are coming back, and he's telling stories.
yeah. So should I stop now?
They're like, all the suppressed memories are coming out.
I didn't start this. That's just
We had a
Did
great
you want to
time.
hear the end?
sorry.
Go
No, I
ahead.
don't have to. I mean,
No.
Do your end of your story.
No, so it was like a 4-hour shift. We would show up. You would go into a little meeting where they would tell you like who the featured marching bands were, if there were any VIPs. Then we'd go downstairs. We'd set up ropes, and you had like a cart of poles with ropes along the sidewalks. And then for probably an hour, you just hang out and talk to people until the parade starts. But then crunch time was when the parade would start, the nighttime
Gotta
parade.
keep 'em out
You
of
had to
the
keep
way.
the aisleways open and keep people moving on the
Sidewalks
sidewalks.
clear, yeah.
That was your job. Then as soon as the parade was over, you rip out your post and your shift was
That's it.
over.
Yep.
Yeah, and I loved going over there because I love the part of like standing around talking to guests for an hour, taking photos and.
I would go and
things
take
like that.
photos of you working.
But I remember one time though,
I didn't do that.
the supervisor came up to me during
Said you're too nice.
the pre-shift, and he said he walks up and he says, "Hey, you're a pretty nice guy, aren't you?" And I said, "Well, I'd like to think so." And he goes, "Well, quit being so nice." And I'm like, "Really?" I'm like, and he says, "I'm sure over at Old Key West where you work full time, you have to be nice, but he goes, here, you need to learn to be firm." And he says, he goes, "This is a safety issue. You've got to keep these aisleways open." He says, "Now I need you to go over there and move those gentlemen." And I look over, and it was 3 gentlemen from like a monastery. They were in the
They're monks' clothing, yeah.
So, all right. So I walk over and I said, "Excuse me, sirs, I'm going to need, this is a aisleway. I need you to move over." And they didn't really say much. They nodded and they moved over. And
Probably a language barrier, I bet.
then, about 5 minutes later, they're back right blocking. So I go over again. and ask them to move, and they moved. And then a third time, the supervisor comes up and he says, "I thought I asked you to move those people." And I looked over, and they're back. And I said, "You know what? I'm not messing with God tonight. If you want to move them," because I mean, and the thing was, I kept asking,
They were ornery.
but that was hard for me
Yeah.
because literally, that's one of the few jobs at Disney. I don't want to say where you're rude. You're never rude,
But you got to
but you do have to be forceful
Yeah.
because it is a safety issue. You've got to keep those aisleways open. And
Well, it's like where we worked. They'd have lightning in the area, and they
Oh,
told us
yeah.
close the pools. So you would rush around to all 4 pools trying to get people out, and people would be in there or sitting on the side with their feet dangling in. And I think, oh, they're going to be out of the pool. You know, in Indiana, you get lightning, you get out of the pool. There's a ton of lightning in Florida,
Yeah.
and they're still in the water. Well, why do we need to get out? There's lightning in the area. You're
And then
gonna
they'd sit
get-
on the edge with their feet
feet
dangling in the
dangling
pool.
in.
Oh yeah, the lightning won't get you there.
Yeah.
You're safe.
So whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, all right. I guess we better wrap.
And
up.
one last thing
Okay.
here, camping therapy. Where are y'all from? Well, we're from Northeast Indiana. It's called Angola. Where, if you know where Fort Wayne is, we're about an hour north of there. We could go to dinner to Michigan. We could go to Ohio for dinner. We're in that corner.
Yep.
So
The Boilermaker state.
he's a Boilermaker. So, yep, that's
Is that about everything?
Yeah.
Well, thank you everybody again. Sorry that we had to cancel Vermont, but again, if even if you weren't scheduled for Vermont and you want to go over to Ohio Pyle, Pennsylvania, you're welcome to check that out.
They loved hearing your stories. You know,
Oh,
your teeth.
all right. So maybe we'll do a trip down memory lane another time.
Mm-hmm.
And then also again, we have that new channel where we'll be doing our midweek updates and just a lot of our lifestyle stuff. It's just going to be a fun channel.
Yep.
For
Stuff
that, so-
you want to get? Oh, she's.
Oh, you need.
sleeping.
Oh, she's asleep.
Hold on, I'll get her.
There's
sleeping.
Bess. She's sleeping. Here's Truman.
Oh,
So
look. Look at
thank you to
Bud.
everybody for the super chats tonight. Thank you
Thank
for
you so
you know it's
much.
Labor Day weekend. We always appreciate when you come and hang out with us for an hour. And thank you again to Mark and Karen for
Yeah.
you know
Thank you guys.
hanging
Thank you.
here with us. We should have interviewed you, but
No.
And again, big shout out to Carrie for
Helping us out.
helping with moderating tonight. Carrie, it was so great to have you back in the room. And again, just everybody that's here, thank you so
Careful.
much. And don't forget to support all the channels that were in the room if you
Yeah.
can. Check them out. And have a great rest of your weekend. Be safe. And until next time, everybody, we'll see you.
On down the road.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night, everyone.
Now, this is always the problem at the end of these. I don't know how to end them. It's like
I just start
it's like the
clicking
live
buttons.
stream that
And
never.